you believe this? In the middle of this land, they've put this. These are all over the place. Sacred Native American land. They're building up, stealing energy from it. The artist in me has been in search of truth and some sense of metaphysical experience. The existential situation drives a hard bargain for those who seek inspiration, though. When you find what you're looking for, the mystery fades away as your dream comes into focus. Where no roads seem to exist, there are glyphs, speaking to the conditions that were witnessed by the Anasazi artists of that time. It's hard to imagine a world so harsh yet free, lined with prehistoric trade routes and rock carvings. How advanced could this old world have been? These amazing graphic icons, packed full of mythology and history, hold a mystery of time, shaped by different rules and conduct. This is an ancient graffiti right here, scribed by humans long ago. I believe that prehistoric petroglyphs might be remnants of an archaic worldwide language. Immediately, I see familiar sets of archetypes, like Babylonian wizards to shamans of Siberia and other electrical-looking deities. The wild blue yonder! The most amazing thing about petroglyphs is their fingerprint of the old world lasting through the ages. Myth cast in stone, the most resilient material on our planet, able to survive time here amongst the most beautiful landscapes on Mother Earth. This current journey I've embarked on has taken me back to conversations I had with my mother as a child, who was my teacher of art and spiritual sciences. Just being here is a spiritual experience, and to witness ancient art firsthand is mesmerizing. Back in 2012, I was digging through pictures online of antiquity and came across this very mural here. It reminded me of graffiti, only from a time long ago, a world forgotten by most. I was amazed to discover this ancient art was right here in North America. This is, as we graffiti artists say, one of the cleanest burners, a graphical masterpiece scribed in sandstone. I have been seeking the mystical truths my whole life, from social activism in the early 90s to veils being pulled back throughout the 2000s. This sacred valley is called Crow Canyon, located in a very remote desert wash in New Mexico known as Donetta. The main mural here is such a beautiful graphic depiction of art and human communication. Taking in this ancient artwork is a profound feeling of respect and connection as a fellow artist through time. There is an abstract directional shape next to what looks like a river of flowing water, or it could be a lightning bolt for that matter. Either way, it is depicted with significance. Maybe it's related to the Great Flood myths. A massive cornstalk rises from what looks like a step pyramid. The corn seems to tell a story symbolically of its flowery fertility and its offspring cobs. I can't help but think of time looking at this hourglass alongside it. This main character looks like an alien farmer holding a shovel. On his back rests a sun symbol, or maybe he is a hieroglyph of a flaring comet. It kind of resembles a turtle shell too. Many cultures had creation myths with turtle mythology. The symbol of the human hand rises above his head with 5 fingers, different than the 3 and 6-fingered glyphs found everywhere out here. His head sprouts anamorphic dual horns, another link to the worldwide association with horned headwear. This is so tight and crisp as petroglyphs go. It's sharp and in control, done by a skilled artist, no doubt. This circular pattern makes me think of agriculture and calendars, blueprints of some sort, a master plan, but then again, could it be a solar system inviting this fiery intruder in? Atop the wall there is a dog, maybe a coyote, facing a huge split in the rock surface. In ancient Native American lore, this dog is known as Chaos, guardian to the afterlife, much like Anubis of ancient Egypt. I imagine these fractures are incorporated into that narrative. I liken these scars to major shifts in life and time. This wall has a bit of damage, and some of it is missing, but most of it remains well preserved. Across this break, we have a character with twisting horns. Looks like his mind is connecting with some serious kundalini helixing, some universal mind communication. I might be stretching my imagination. Fading out along the lower section are heavily eroded linear radial diagrams. There seems to be a horned deity in the foreground, a giant compared to the horsemen above. Those horse riders, more than likely, are Spanish conquistadors with guns and hats. This mural right here must have been done within the last 500 years, if this depiction is so. Perhaps some of the last glyphs done before the Spanish came through, destroying much of the old world history. Taking in all these petroglyphs, interpreting the symbolism, and bouncing these thoughts off of the myths I've studied is a process inspiring my philosophy and artwork. I'm interested in ancient connections of human commonality through a worldwide hieroglyphic language in stone, suggesting that we are being lied to about who we are and our true history. Obscured by the institutionalized narrative, I see things other people missed. So I bring it through in my work for others to think for themselves. Were these prehistoric peoples connected? Am I looking at that same mythology right here in North America's Great Southwest deserts? I believe we're looking at pieces of a global proto-language and visual symbolism, more than an isolated local mythology. It was in Babylon where God split the tongues so that no one could understand each other. Could this be remnants of that very language? Early Chinese sailors, Viking ships abandoned in the desert, Phoenicians in search of copper mining, Aztec trade routes, Pacific Islanders mixing cultures. There are many legends but no clear proof, so I've come here seeking that hidden gnosis. I believe these works share common lore with the mythos in many civilizations from antiquity. We are unaware of this not by ignorance, but intentionally miseducated for nefarious reasons. The powers that be have worked hard to keep us from knowing the real history of the Native Americans and their connections to an antediluvian world culture. Here I have come upon one of the most ancient archetypes, the warrior, Mars in myth, the protector and avenger, yielding a beautiful display of weapons. These spears look like petroglyphs I've seen online in the Sahara Desert. The art once again is so illustrative and graphically unique with respect to the neighboring styles across the Southwest. The global icon and use of the shield suggest evidence of the knowledge spreading throughout the planet's cultures. We were never fully cut off from one another. Very few of us question the legitimacy of official sources. We are taught what to think, not how to think. Do as you're told. Copy and repeat. Don't step out of line is how many of us have spent their lives. In the 80s and 90s, the BLM and the U.S. government obtained all this land across the United States and began building fracking sites. I think that they've been stealing somehow with electric waves in a very high science form, weather from California, been bringing it out here, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and letting it rain because they need a shit ton of water to frack the earth with. So I think they've been stealing the weather from other parts of the country, and it's probably been having some terrible backlashes too, obviously. By stealing this weather, they've been putting, like I said, a lot of water on this land. They're able to pull the water out of the land and use it to create their energy. And in the mid-2000s, I truly believe, because of all this fascination of Nikola Tesla, what Russia has been doing with nuclear and plasma physics, and just the general turn of things with electric cars and, Tesla motors, that this crystalline structure out here, this Four Corners Desert, is a massive area of energy, and it can be measured. There's an updrift, an uplift of electromagnetic energy. So I believe they're tapping that too now. They've become hip to that. And that's another reason why they're grabbing this land across America, is because they're going to start producing a lot of energy off of our Earth. Stuff that they've told us before was myth and wasn't real. And so there's a lot of psyops going on right now where people don't really understand what's going on, but to see it firsthand and see these pipes right here, look at this. The hell is this? This is Mother Nature. This is obviously a river too. It's very dangerous for that to be there, so they don't care. There's profits to be made, and there's control and power. And this is what they do. They mine the earth. It's terrible. We've had to go down dirt roads that are made by 4x4 trucks with high clearance in a Dodge minivan. And as you can see, it's getting dark now. To find these spaces out here are really hard. So this is some really crazy stuff here. Hope y'all enjoy it. Watch out, buckets. Whoa. I'm grateful to take in this beauty and light as the sun sets here in the canyon. I'm reminded of my stewardship to Mother Nature and her wisdom. I stand in amazement, art speaking to me over great lengths of time. I feel like I'm in a valley of kings or possibly a great trade route. But now it is silent, other than the local sound of industrial machinery. Bathing in this golden moment, I question my association to civilization. Why are we living in the state we find ourselves? Why not evolve into something more meaningful and significant? Where did I leave behind to be here now? Who am I? Why is it that we feel so much of our history as a mystery? These myths are worth exploring. They carry a piece of our hidden history. We are all the children of distant ancestors who survived great catastrophes in reoccurring past and must pursue this knowledge to make our lives sacred again. This journey is just getting started, so please stay tuned for new odysseys and the adventures of a self-realized High Plains drifter.